Hello everybody, how's it going? Back with another video. Since I last posted, we got to 200 subscribers, and I'm super happy to be able to say that. Dream come true. And my All Things Must Pass video is now at, it's going up as we speak, so let's take a look right now. That video is now at 1.3k views. Pretty proud of that. Thank you to everyone who was loving my edit on that song. But today we're going to be talking about a album that I reacted to on live stream, Vultures 1. Now, I had to live stream that. I kind of had to. It felt like an obligation. Because, there has not been a Kanye album dropping while I was a fan. And if you guys be like, oh, well, it's Donna 2. No, that doesn't count. I am not counting that whatsoever. Because that rollout was horrible, and I was bitterly disappointed by it. And it's not on any streaming platforms, and it's unfinished. So, not counting that. But Vultures 1 is basically the first Kanye project that I was able to listen to for the first time, right when it came out, as a fan. And I'm going to give you my honest thoughts on the project. First up, I'd just like to say that this album has a lot of hate. A lot of people don't like it. You either kind of like it or you hate it, And, I guess there are some people that love it, like those Kanye fan accounts. Obviously, they're going to be glazing the hell out of it. A lot of people saying, like, oh, this is like, this album's so good, And, it is, but we'll get into that a little later. I think the main thing we're going to want to do, which is exactly what we did for my Utopia review, we're going to want to take this album track by track, because I certainly have some thoughts on the tracks on this album. There are some good, and there's some bad. Believe me. Despite the fact that I generally like this album, there's definitely some bad stuff about it. So let's just get into it track by track. Track number 1, we have Stars. I think Stars might just be my favorite on the album, or at least the one that I've probably listened to the most. It's a little too short. I kind of wish they would have kept the guitar outro. But besides that, the finished version that we have right now is way better than the original. The original did not have any drums. It was just like a guitar in the background, which didn't sound bad. And I listened to the OG one a couple of times before. But like the one that we have now with the drums just complete the song and make it so much better. Aside from that one line by Kanye, you know what I'm talking about. I think it's a really good song. Kanye's got a great flow on this. And Ty Dolla $ign is just floating on this beat. It's amazing. One of the best intros to any Kanye album. And then at track 2 we have Keys to My Life, one that I really didn't care about as much when I first listened to it, but honestly it's not that bad. It's pretty personal. I like a lot of the lyrics from Kanye, except for the emoji line that sucked. Ty Dolla $ign is always doing great. I gotta be honest, there's not one time on this album where he's the bad part. Ty Dolla $ign crushes it on every single track, so I'm never gonna get critical on him because he's definitely the best part of this. This track is a little boring, to be honest, but it's okay. I like the lyrics. It's the instrumental. Is anyone else being reminded of the track Easy from 2022? Because I think the instrumental really reminds me of that. And that's not really a good thing. I like the instrumental from that, but like, you don't really need to copy another song. So, on to the next one. And the next one is Paid, and I gotta be honest, this song's good, but it's so cliche. It just sounds so cliche. Like, with Ty Dolla $ign doing the chorus, I could have sworn that I've heard this song before. Like, I legitimately thought it was a cover. It just definitely feels like a song that I've heard before. Like, that chorus is just like, oh, there it is, It's just a little cliche for me. I don't think it's a bad song, though. And, obviously Kanye isn't great on this one. Rapping in a very high voice doesn't exactly help. But I don't mind it. I think it's a cool little song, but definitely not my favorite. Next up is Talking. Now, I actually don't mind Northwest on this one. I think she's actually pretty good, to be honest. She's got a nice flow. Will I be listening to her upcoming album, Elementary School Dropout? I don't know, man. Maybe. Who knows? Comment if you want a reaction stream, but that might be the only way I'd listen to it. But I like her on this one. It's short but sweet, her part. But to be honest, though, obviously the second part of it, once again, is way better. I love Ty Dolla $ign's flow on this one. And Kanye coming in there at the end was great. I like this song, if anything, just for once again. But I don't mind Talking either. I'm not ashamed to bop that because it kind of slaps, to be honest. Alright, a little quick drink break. Next track is titled Back to Me, probably my favorite song on the album. I get that a lot of people don't like that Kanye says the you know what line like 500 times, but it doesn't bother me that much. If anything, I kind of like it. And Freddie Gibbs just crushes it. Like, everyone crushes it, especially Ty Dolla $ign, because that chorus is just infectious. And as you know, this was the first thing we kind of heard from Vultures, from that one preview video of like a little listening party, and I was hooked when I heard Ty Dolla $ign. It just sounded great. So yeah, I'm glad we got this one. I think it's a really good song. Then track number 6 is Hood Rat. I gotta be honest, no one talks about this one besides how bad it is. You know, like this is not my favorite. I'm not gonna have a cliche review and be like, oh, this is the least favorite one on the album, worst Kanye production ever, because you know what, this could have been good. This production could have definitely been good, you know, with the Hood Rat repeating, but I think there's a little too much of that, to be honest. And I was like, all right, I think if you watch my reaction stream, I'm like, when I hear that, I'm like, oh wow, okay, I'm a little flustered by this, but I just know that Kanye's gonna come in with a good verse, and then he starts going, "You look like a piece of hallelujah," and I'm like, I don't care if his singing voice is good on this one. This is not the song for that. When you set up a beat like that and just make it into like a Christian song, like, why wouldn't he just rap? I think he does later on, but like, I was so disappointed, especially with that beat drop. You know, it just says the N word, and then it's just like, like, it's so weird. I mean, I think this should be more talked about though, because I mean, it's experimental at least, but it's really not my favorite. And then track numero 7 is "Do It." I like this one. If you watch my reaction stream, the whole time I'm just like, well, this is a club anthem, you know. Usually don't hear that kind of stuff from Kanye, but I'm glad he put it on it. YG, if I'm correct, I might not be, but I think that's a feature. He does a good job. Kanye's verse is, I mean, I'm not even gonna say it's bad, but like, I just don't remember it, you know. Like, if Kanye's on a song, let alone his own song, and he has a verse, you usually remember it, but I don't. I really don't remember what he says, you know. I should, but I don't. Ty Dolla $ign, as always, is perfect. Delivers a fantastic verse, and it's a pretty good song. Track numero ocho is "Paperwork." I like this one, especially Kanye's little intro is like, "Let me get my paperwork, then come out, let's play tonight." Like, steals the show with that. And I love the little like Brazilian sample or whatever. I think it was like a TikTok sound, but it fits perfectly on this one. Quavos delivers as well. It's a pretty hard song, to be honest. And then a track that is one of my favorites off the album, and I'm so glad that I'm not alone in saying this, because I was thinking like, oh, I'm gonna be like the only one who's blasting this, but it looks like a lot of people like it too. It's "Burn." If you watch the reaction stream, I was like, oh my god, this beat is fantastic. And I think as a Kanye fan, this is the best type of feeling you can get, and it's how you know that you've encountered a special artist, because the second I heard that beat, when I heard Ty Dolla $ign on it, I was like, if Kanye like has a verse on this, it's gonna be like one of the best things on the album. And he did, and it was perfect. I wish it was a little longer, but that's my only complaint. I'm just so glad that Kanye was able to rap over this beat, because it was amazing. All right, I might get taken down for this, but I, for some reason, just love the transition from "Burn" to "Fuck Some." Listen to this. This is like an actual awesome transition. I don't know. Maybe I'm alone in saying that, but I just think it's a cool transition. Anyways, this track is really good. I like Playboi Carti's verse. Yeah, it's a good song. Travis Scott, too, obviously. I think Travis Scott is one of my favorite artists right now. I mean, Utopia was just fantastic. I can't say anything bad about that. And I think, you know, obviously an album has to be both interesting and good for me, like, in order for me to review it on my channel. I mean, it can also be really bad too, but like, it has to be interesting, and it had all those qualities. And I was so glad that I was able to review it, and I'm glad that a lot of you watched that video. But this track was good. Travis was good on it. Playboi Carti was good on it. I liked it. On to the next one. And then we have my least favorite track on the album, "Vultures." I don't like it. I'm sorry. I really don't like it. It's really not my favorite. I don't like that line from Kanye where he's like, "How I just, I don't even need to say it. That line is just problematic. Let alone any time where he mentions that. I mentioned the line that he had on Stars, and it nearly ruins the song for me because like, it's dumb to. I think that's always been a thing with Kanye when he does political stuff in his songs. It usually sucks. Like, let me just take Ye versus the People for example. Like, that's one of his worst tracks ever, and I think a lot of people will agree with me. So he's got to stop doing that, and that line on here is just furthering my proof. Not only that, I just don't like any of the other features either. Like, Kanye just sounds lazy, and Bump J, holy crap, he is horrible on this one. Like, Lil Durk and Ty Dolla Sign, they're fine, but like Bump J is just like like it's just so annoying. Like, he's not even trying. And the instrumental is just not interesting at all. I think the Havoc version is way better. So yeah, we'll just move on to the next one. Go, 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 go. Yeah. You already know what the next one is. It's Carnival. Now, going into this, I already knew that a lot of people liked Carnival. I don't think it was one of those where it was just like bound to be a TikTok sound eventually. But like, people really liked it. When I was seeing reviews of the album, very early reviews, because I listened to it pretty close to when it came out. Everyone was like, Carnival is monumental, and I was like, all right, I'm excited, and I heard it. It wasn't what I thought it was going to be, but I still liked it, and I think it's a good song. It is objectively a pretty great song. But TikTok is starting to ruin it for me, to be honest. I mean, I see it everywhere, and it's starting to annoy me a little bit. I like Kanye's verse. I think that's great. Playboi Carti does a great job, too. And obviously, I mean, I don't even have to say it. Ty Dolla Sign is great. And Rich the Kid, I mean, yeah, Rich the Kid's verse is really great and undoubtedly one of the most quotable parts of the song. So, Carnival is a good song, but it's definitely not my favorite on the album. Okay, the next track is one that I consider very underrated. Beg Forgiveness. I didn't love it at first because I thought it was building up to something, but I like it now. I think it's a very personal song, and we need more of that from Kanye. And I think there's two personal songs in a row. We'll get to that next one in a minute here, but Beg Forgiveness is good. I like that there's a Chris Brown feature on it, and Ty Dolla Sign at the end just absolutely kills it. One of his best parts. And then after that, we have the track that got taken down off of Spotify and every other streaming service. Good Don't Die. And the sad part is, this is one of my favorite songs on the album, if not my favorite. I still consider it part of the album, to be honest. It's so good. It's one of the most personal we've heard Kanye in a while. Like, he's literally saying don't die, because I gotta be honest, this is a dark period in Kanye's career, and I bet there were possible thoughts of that type of stuff. So it's a really personal track, and I'm glad that he did that, because he seemed pretty unserious on tracks like Do It, Paperwork, and Paid. Like, the whole album, there's a lot of like unserious tracks, but I'm glad that he got personal. This is a great track, and it really describes his mindset during this time. And I think my favorite part of the song is when Ty Dolla Sign comes in. Like, Kanye had just done a great job, and then you hear Ty Dolla Sign's voice, and it's just so soothing. It's just great. I love the song so much. Everyone should listen to it. Like, if you're listening to this album for the first time just now, right after Beg Forgiveness, look this up on YouTube and listen to it, because it's a great song, and it's definitely part of the album in my opinion. Alright, the next track is Problematic, and woo, the production on this one is just crazy. I absolutely love it. When the trumpets come in, it's just amazing. It's great production. But I was definitely worried when I saw the title Problematic. I was like, crap. No, please don't. Please don't do this. But no, there wasn't any of that. There wasn't any like weird. I mean, besides the like, when I was 15, my girlfriend wasn't born. Didn't really need to say that. It kind of makes it more weird than it already is. But besides that, I like this one. Ty Dolla Sign has an amazing feature, as always. I wouldn't even say feature. He's carrying this album on his back. It's not a feature. I would consider this Ty's album, to be honest. Kanye does great on it, but Ty Dolla Sign nails it every time. So shout out to him. But yeah, Kanye's verse is one of the best we've seen in a while. Like, I like his verse on this one. And then we have the final track of the album, King. Oh man, this just makes me sad because the production on this one is insane. Like it's crazy, you know. But the use of him saying that he's an anti-Semite is just it's dumb, you know. Like it's really dumb. He did not need to put that in, you know. It's just I get what he's trying to say. Like no matter what he does or says, like he's still the king in the end. Like I get that, you know. There's so many Kanye fans out there that he'll always kind of be the king in the end. But like, I really, really don't like that he had to include that, let alone all the other times he did that on this album. So I have a little bit of a problem with that. All right, we're done with talking about the track list. Let's just talk about the overall album. Now, one of the complaints that a lot of people had was the production, and to be honest, the production isn't that bad. I don't think of it as a problem. I think Hood Rat definitely doesn't have the best production. But I don't think it's that bad. I think it's fine. And then the features. Who had the best feature, you may ask? Rich the Kid did a pretty great job. Northwest was great. It's tough. There's a lot of good features on this one. I like that it ends the album. The last three tracks don't have any of them. And I gotta be honest, talking more about King again, it was kind of sad that he said all that stuff in that one because we were like 3 for 3, or 4 for 4 even. You know, like or no 3 for 3. Like Beg Forgiveness, Good Don't Die, and Problematic. Didn't mention any of that once, and it was nice. And then we had that. The best feature might just be Rich the Kid or Playboy Cardi on Carnival. I'm such an idiot. It's neither one of those. It's obviously Freddie Gibbs on Back to Me. That's the best feature. I don't care what anyone says. His flow on that one is insane. Now, I think I've already made myself clear on this, but I'd just like to say it again. Obviously, if we're comparing Kanye and Ty together on this album, Ty does a way better job. It's a little bit like Kids See Ghosts. Although, I mean, I never thought that Kanye did a bad job on that. But, like, this is, in a way, Ty Dolla $ign's moment, the same as it was Kid Cudi's moment when they made that album. I think Ty does a better job. I was definitely there for Kanye, but I knew that Ty was going to crush it, and he did good the entire time. Now, for the rating. Before I give the rating, I would just like to point out that I ordered Vultures 1 merch. It's actually pretty cool. It's got one of the album covers and the track list on the back. It was only $20, and I'm really happy that Kanye did that. I love the Super Bowl ad. They've shipped, but they haven't came yet, so I'm patiently waiting in the mail, and I'll let you guys know when I cop it. Anyways, the final rating for this album. I'm going to just give it an 8, you know? Most people would rate it pretty low, and I'm not going to be one of those people who's just like, oh, it's Kanye, gotta give it a 10. You know, everyone thinks that I'm, like, the biggest fan. Obviously, I'm a big fan. I named like 200 of his 240 tracks on like this quiz online, so definitely a big fan. But like, if it's a bad album, it's a bad album. I don't consider this one a bad album. Okay, I do not. I think this is a good album. It's got enough good tracks, but it also has enough bad tracks from keeping it away from being like perfect. So I'm just gonna give it an 8. It's a light 8 for me. Could be like a 7.9. But yeah, I'd give it a light 8. Let me know what you guys thought of the album. Let me know if I was being too harsh on it or too nice. Alright? See you in the next video.